way to make your trip right back into the lobby. But let's see, is Crazy going to be able to get more than just the 2 elims? Crazy is, of course, our elim leader, but it is going to be still quite a bit to be revealed as we get into those later few stages. So Crazy now having a long way to go, just over 300 meters to rotate up. Phase 3 is going to start to hurt, but phase 4 will hurt even more so. Ghost up ahead, so we could see even more action getting in. You can see Mafia and so many more other players all looking to now start to converge up into the zone.
Yeah, and we're looking at that kill feed Megan managing to take out Sky, and we're down to 33 players here going into stage 4. We see Demon take out Critical, and Mafia going straight into building area that has already been located a person, but it does look like Mafia is not going to stay in and around the vicinity. We're going to use this vehicle to just rotate out of this one successfully.
There we go. Mafia. I think Mafia's maybe trying to taunt Zetsu here to see what Zetsu is going to try and do, but Mafia's not careful. Be a
Oh,
demon to
Zetsu.
bite them on the opposite end. That is now quite a situation. Tokyo also going to be finding themselves in a bit of a situation, as we can see just on the side there. Last blow stepping up. Void going down as Maggie comes through with the hit. We're down to 29 remaining hopefuls. And of course, as we know, only one player can walk away with that winner chicken dinner. Kota is going to be the next one to fall on down. So the number slowly starting to dwindle, but the zone pressure is going to start to apply very soon. Loch Ness is going to get picked up as Crazy secures their third elimination. Marky is going to get absolutely devoured by the blue. The numbers now starting to drop like stones here as the players find the action, and everybody now getting ready for a bit of the carnage we could see on the battlefield here.
Yeah, looking at that player count drop very quickly. Like you blink, you miss it, and we're down to 24 players right now. Zetsu in a good retail space right now. We saw Tokyo getting taken out as well. Youngblood in the distance over there, just rotating, and Crazy still alive. Crazy now with 3 eliminations, think it's going to continue staying as the elimination leader right now. We'll see what that will look like towards the end of the game, but that danger zone again, once again, shrinking, bringing these players closer to one another. And that's the beauty of Battle Royale, is it's inevitable. One man must be standing, and we'll soon see who is going to be game number 1's winner chicken dinner. So right now, Zetsu going in, vehicle potentially rotating to safe zone. Youngblood getting eliminated, and that's going to be to the hands of Newbie. Seeing Crazy sitting at the top over there with 3 eliminations, quite fantastic. And he's sort of, hugging that zone and rotating, has the zone shrink. It's a common strategy we see time in and time out in Battle Royale formats. But I haven't seen it being, a winning strategy that wins you the overall tournament. But I mean, right now it's doing good for him. He's sitting on 3 eliminations, the top of the ladder. Kazan Hu taking out stage over there, and you can see Extreme taking massive damage, managing to bandage up and heal as he travels right over here. Deadshot going out, 18 players remain, and not much areas in which Extreme can find himself comfortable in terms of rotating without running into another opponent. For the players that already find themselves inside some homes covered up by natural cover, fantastic plays. Ruby getting taken out. Leopard still alive in this one. We did see him quite early on, and he still finds himself competing for that game 1 win.
Well, let's see if Nanex can get anything going over here. It's going to be just patiently awaiting on the hill. We do see Sahil coming through with another hit. A few vehicle finishes coming in as well. I think especially with the zone being up onto Everest, it's going to be a King of the Hill clash to see who's going to be the player to hold on. We do see Leopard also now starting to join us back in towards the zone. Gladiator is going to find a hit. Ghost just going to be trying to keep it nice and quiet. But again, the elevation could be the way to go here. Gladiator, unfortunately, with that tire getting popped, will get popped themselves. The Blues just eating away at their health, but trying everything to rotate out. But Mafia denies them anything. But Mafia is going to feel that pressure as well. As you can see, Gazzy up on the high ground looking to spray down. Mafia has nowhere left to hide. The only way is forward. As you can see, it is a very exposed rotation, finding at least a little bit of coverage. But now with Gazzy making all this noise, of course, it is going to draw quite a bit of attention to them. And the zone has shifted slightly towards that southern side, so the pressure is on. You can see Soulman and so many other players all just holding in the vicinity. Everybody just hoping to time their shots to perfection so they can secure every single elimination they can find here.
Yeah, looking at it, 12 players, quite spread out right now. That zone's going to be shrinking, forcing them to each other. Extreme right over here, finding himself just potentially going to be rotating. He's got himself a vehicle. He's going to be quite fine with that. Galaxy 2 Mag on the same mountain as Kaizenhu, so we'll see exactly what this is going to be looking like. But Angry Soul, Mafia, all of these players still pretty much in an okay position for now. But as that zone shrinks, we'll see what that's going to be looking like. And just as I spoke about Mafia, he gets taken out. Shelby also gets taken out at long distance by the hands of Galaxy. We've got Last Blow over here just healing down. And he's in the safe zone, but not in a good position, I would say. 10 players now remain. And we're slowly getting into that position where it's all about positioning that's going to win you this tournament. Whether you're on natural height, have a good bird's eye view over your opponent, or maybe it's going to just be utilizing smokes that make you rotate in the final spaces right over here. Zetsu seems to be comfortable. Ghost seems to be comfortable. And you just got Leopard sitting in the dead center of the zone, and that could be quite some troublesome right over there. Lost Blow working his rap plays into the safe zone right over there, and that's working quite well for him. Zetsu looks comfortable. I like the position he finds himself with. We got Sahil right now finding himself rotating on the borders right over here, and I think comfortably can do so. Just towards the right is player Zetsu also right over there, and this could be very unfortunate for Sahil as he goes into already acclaimed building. Massive damage taken. Sahil needs to get into the window. What's happening? Jump! Manages to get in and can heal up if he does have the utilities to do so.
Yeah, Sahil is just going to look to build a little bit of that tension, right? Just want to keep the suspense going as, anybody can just rotate up to a window and get in it immediately. But why do it quickly, right? Take your time. Just try and build as much of a story here as we could look to find. We did see the aggression leader sitting with, I believe, 4 eliminations up. So Sahil currently occupying that second position with regards to the elims themselves. A decent chunk of damage getting dealt there as well, nearly 300. But now it's all going to come down to whether or not the final few players can make it out of this one, right? As we know, only one player can pick up that winner chicken dinner, seeing that we are having a bunch of solos all over this battlefield. Nanex is going to be hugging the edge of that southern side, trying to not get themselves being spotted out just yet. Zetsu also going to be chilling up on the roof, but in the next few moments, that zone is going to shift. If it goes north, it is going to be absolutely troubling for the players having to rotate up from that southern side, but it's going to be a golden farming opportunity. But instead, the zone just centers up on itself, moving a little bit more towards that eastern side. So this is where all these Everest positions are now going to be quite costly for our players that have to rotate in. I mean, Kazi, good luck. Mag, good luck. Mag currently, of course, our elimination leader, but is going to find quite a bit of a challenge getting back into that safe zone.
Yeah, I mean, with Mag having a vehicle, he's going to be quite happy with that rotation. It's Kaizenhose who's in a tough one over there, who will struggle on foot to get into the safe zone, I believe. But with already Mag giving that opportunity for him to rotate in the same direction, we'll see exactly what that will be looking like. Oh, I stand incorrected. Kaizen does have himself a vehicle. Annex taking shots right over here. He's quite low on HP as well. Finds himself with a cover of just a tree, but he needs to be careful. Opponents are sneaking their way into their zones as well. With 2 minutes over here, guys, nine players remaining. It's coming down to, these final moments where positioning matters the most. And you can see that retail space is getting quite crowded right now. We've got Soulman, who finds himself, equipped with the grenade, seeing what he can do. But right now, Ghost doesn't waste any time, gets straight into that position, takes him out. We're down to 8 players. So unfortunate. And Nanex over here who's comfortably made himself into the safe zone on that borderline right over there, and he's going to be comfortable over there. Lost Blow as well. I just like how Lost Blow has been sneaking his way in. He's playing that rack format, and he hasn't
Yeah.
taken any eliminations this round, but he finds himself in the top 10, which is quite fantastic. I think, the most important thing to Battle Royale is going to be those placement points, but it's always good to balance it out with eliminations. But finding yourself here in the end games and really achievement for first round, nerves are at the top of the roof. I mean, you're competing for 20,000 Rand share of a top four players. So it all comes down to game number one to set the mood, and you sort of win the next three, do well in the next three, and you find yourself sitting comfortably on that leaderboard. But right now, as things stand, Zetsu just needs to be a bit cautious about his surroundings as he sits here at the top of the roof.
Oh, let's see whether or not anything is going to come through from that Ghost. Also going to be looking to spot out a bit of an opportunity. Nothing being found just yet. It is a little bit of the quiet before the storm as we are awaiting stage number 7 to show up. Nanex also going to be looking to just get himself situated here, slowly pushing forward. That drop is going to be a big tease to a lot of these players. It's right there in the middle, but nobody can really reach it because the moment they move up, they will get spotted and they will get eliminated. So the pressure is going to be quite high. Kazan also just trying to inch their way further and further forward. We did see Nanex around towards that western side, so they need to be quite careful. Mag, of course, coming through with that edge positioning is also going to add even more pressure to the whole situation here. But Last Blow yet to find an elimination, hasn't been able to secure anything so far in this match. Nanex, though, looking pretty decent, right? Sitting with the second highest elimination count, coming through on 3 elims. But now, a few opportunities could be presented here. As we can see, Kazan is going to start pushing forward. A very bold move, but they, of course, rotate up with the hovercraft, so that will allow them a little bit of an opportunity. Not much, but it does allow something. Ghost, of course, is going to get taken down next. We are down to the final 7 players. Nanex finds the opportunity, spots Kazan. The angles are in, but Nanex takes so much damage in retaliation. Kazan could definitely mean the end of Nanex here.
It definitely could. I mean, that the way he switched back on terms of attack over there was quite nice, but it does look like Kaizen might just be giving him a bit of space. No, but Danix cannot make it through. He gets eliminated, and that means Kaizen now moves into second most eliminations right now for the lobby, as he does have the 3. And we've seen Leopard still alive. Quite fantastic over here. Does have the perfect opportunity to get a Kobe on his opponent right over here, but doesn't do so. He's going to stay calm and at ease, maybe potentially lurk his opponent into this position right over here. But Kaizen has created the safe bunker that he has by eliminating Nanex. There's no one that's going to come from behind. Last Blow, making those rat plays on the edge over there. The Kobe throw coming in from the opponent right over there. Doesn't connect. Leopard doesn't get any damage. And now just healing is going to be himself. Zetsu goes into the building as Angry Sahil, and will they find themselves at the same level? They do, and Zetsu gets taken out. Sahil picks that one up. Beautiful damage, and we're down to 5 players, and very soon we're going to be noticing who's going to get that winner chicken dinner. All right, now Leopard throwing in some nades into the building for Sahil. Stage 7, 14 seconds until that zone shrinks. We'll see what this means for these players. Where is that zone going to rotate? Who's going to be in a safe position? Leopard gets taken out. Galaxy 2 Mag is responsible for that. And we're down to 4 players and 6 eliminations to Galaxy. Just a great showcase of performance coming out for first game here for Galaxy.
Well, let's see if the stars will align here for Mag, as they are going to be trying to hug the edge of zone, but the pressure play is going to be on because they still have to rotate forward, and we're almost in stage number 9, so that is going to spell disaster for everyone on the fringe of the zone, because once we hit stage number 9, that blue is going to continue to close on up. There is no more phase after this, so let's see who's going to be the one to try and bag it up. We do see Casanoro on the far side, Sahil. We have Last Blow also just trying to become one with the terrain here. Unfortunately, the skin on that vehicle doesn't quite blend in with the tree, so it's kind of obvious where they are situated. But we are down to the final four, right? Anything can happen right here. Who will be the one to get the last blow? A very fitting name, but let's see. Can they do it? Mag, those 6 elims up, is going to try and rush forward. The blue is going to start biting them as they now rush up looking for a position, but everybody else is just big chilling. They don't have to worry about that phase.
They don't. But we do see Galaxy finds himself in that zone, just barely, but he finds himself in it. Last blow, sitting comfortably right over here. And we got Sahil also in a building. And I think, he's found himself in good retail space here for these final moments. But if he can position himself outside of this, I think Kaizen potentially has the best positioning because, he doesn't need to worry about his surroundings. He's got bird's eye view over everyone. And Sahil is out of question. He doesn't know what's happening on the outside. He's just waiting for anyone to have confidence enough to push him. So he's not sure exactly where is people, what is happening, and just placing all those fire traps just in case someone is going to try and make the move to push in. And that is potentially going to be Mag right here. But he's fine. He's safe. And he does notice Sahil right over there. Kind of get a peak of shot opportunity, and it's those shotgun metas that you're talking about. Yeah, that could potentially be for the end game. Good shots onto Sahil, giving him good advantage. Goes in with the shotgun, and unfortunately, Mag gets taken down. Sahil takes the advantage of that, and although the health advantage was not there for him, Mag should have won that, but it was that shotgun that was not accurate enough and took him out. Down to top 3, and somehow last blow is here in the end game with no eliminations in a top 3 finish, and going up against Kaizen, and as well as a fantastic player who just took up Mag, and it's now Sahil up against Kaizen. And who is going to be the winner chicken dinner here, DK?
It's gonna be a big fight, right? That's pretty sure and pretty certain at this point. Kaizen. Okay, Kaizen trying to finish this match on a big note. Of course, that vehicle is up in flames. It's going to go boom pretty soon. But Sahil,
what the hell?
Sahil is called Sahil for a reason because Sahil used the hill to get the win. 6 eliminations, of course, now squaring up quite nicely there with Mag. But there we have it. Kaizenho coming through in 2nd place. Last blow, trying to be the one to get that final hit in, but unfortunately having to settle for 3rd place. So a very interesting kind of spread here, as you can see the elimination counts all the way down to that 15th position. But what makes it pretty tough is all the way up to 15th rather. So up to 15th, they get those 5 placement points, right? Here from 16th further down, it is only 3. So it's not the usual placement points that we see normally, but it is going to make it quite interesting to see where they end up with regards to those points. So it is going to be a pretty challenging one. That entire left side of the page are going to be beaming with excitement. But yeah, you got to give it up to Leopard, though. Some pretty good, surprising jump shots that we saw coming through. So yeah, good choice on name.
Very unfortunate here for Kaizen. I mean, he came in looking very confident on his positioning, but just not the right strategy, and then getting blown up by his own vehicle, man. I haven't seen that in an endgame for PUBG Mobile. Usually it's a more dramatic finish, smoke, grenades, all of those things. But such an easy win here for Sahil. And I say easy, but it really wasn't. We looked at that endgame and it was very challenging. He also almost found himself going back to the lobby. We had about 40 HP. And if that shotgun met his body, he would have been eliminated. But the aim from Mag just did not connect over there, and he got really lucky. Sahil also was challenged quite a lot in that retail space, but he proven very competitive and determined to go in for that winner chicken dinner. 6 eliminations for game number 1. Narango coming to an end, but that does not mean it is done for the day, as this will also be the 4th map of the day, and we'll see that at a later stage. But fantastic play from everyone. Last blow managing to rat his way into that top 3 finish, but I think a couple more eliminations for game number 2 will find him sitting comfortably on that leaderboard. But I think, guys, we still got game number 2 to set up, so we're going to take a little bit of a short break while we do that, and we'll see you guys in just a bit. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the PUBG Campus Championship for South Africa, where these players are competing in a 20,000 Rand prize pool tournament. Now, game one has come to an end, and we're going to be looking at that leaderboard to see where everyone is standing on it.
Well, standing or sitting, right?
Yeah, well, it depends which one you want to look at it. But at the very top is Sahil with 16 points, only 3 points ahead of Mag, who are equal on elimination. Tyson Ho were in third place with 11 points right over there. And Paul Christopher was fourth with 9. And then we've got Ghost over here in fifth with 8. Nanix over here in sixth with 8 as well. Mafia in 7, tied all the way down to 11th position, which is going to be Lost Blow over there. And that's your left side of the leaderboard, which is where you're comfortable with, right? You just don't have a massive point gap between first and 11th, in my opinion, because one game can simply change it for you when it comes down to it. And when you're looking at those maps, we will be jumping into the Miramar. And Miramar is absolutely big. It's fantastic. Here you want to take advantage of your snipers, your DMRs, etc. for those long range shooting, and we'll see exactly what that is going to be looking like for our competitors. But on the right side, I mean, anyone here that you think should be on the left that isn't on the left?
Well, that is an interesting question. I definitely like to see Headshot over there just because the name looks exciting, right? Yeah, you know, that's pretty much what it is. I'd love to see even more players now looking to contest, looking to see if they can sneak their way up into these standings. But of course, speaking about sneaking, speaking about standings, we are going to be heading up into Miramar, the Dusty Dunes, to see how the teams are going to look to get themselves played out through that as we hop onto the plane. And we are going to be coming in from the southern side, rather, as we sneak our way up in between Puerto Pareso and Partona, of course, heading all the way over to El Pozo. So this is going to be an interesting one. I'm curious whether or not Chumacera, Los Leones, Pecado, all these places along the way are going to be receiving quite a bit of action here, or are the players going to look to take a little bit of a different strategy? But the big question here is, will Sahil be able to clutch it out yet again? Already starting the match off with 16 points. The pressure is going to be on. And if this lobby is going to look to do what I would maybe hope them to do, they could be going out there looking to pick up every single other player along the way.
Let's see what that's going to be looking like. I don't see hot drops coming into it. And, I think like there was some scrimmage that happened before, and these guys managed to practice a little bit. But just looking, I don't know if it's the same Sahil when it comes down to participants on the qualifying rounds, but it's Sahil finished 32nd on the qualifying with only 5 points to him right over there. So he sneaked his way into this tournament over here. But with game one's performance, he looked like a pro. He looked like he's been doing this for years, and he took control of that game quite well. And it just comes to show to you that qualifiers don't mean that you're the best of the best, and you're sitting at the top. Supreme, we didn't get to see at all in the first left of that leaderboard right over there, because he did die of spawn, Supreme, in game number 1 right over there. So very unfortunate. But right now, Extreme does look like he's going to be, Venom does look like he's going to be finding himself taken out over here in an off spawn situation. But it does look like distance might be where he's at advantage. No weapons at all, though, so Venom is going to get taken out here, DK. It's so unfortunate.
Yeah, that tree is only so wide. There's only so much you can do. So Etienne is going to look up, close this one out. Yep, there we go. No surprise to see Etienne get those shots. Unfortunate start there for Venom, but Etienne was just the anti-Venom, so it makes a whole lot of sense. Now, the zone has, of course, centered up right to that northeastern side of Los Leones. So it is going to be interesting to see what will be happening up into Impala, and of course, the rest of the map as well. San Martin could be a little bit hot. We could see something happening right here up in Power Grid. So up comes Obito. We did see a shout out for Obito in the chat, but down goes Obito. So very unfortunate to see Obito getting taken down so early on. Soulman, though, doing a pretty good job here. We did see another player called Soulman. Maybe it is exactly this Soulman securing one elimination in the previous match, and of course
Yeah.
finishing anywhere between the five placement points as well. Meanwhile, Extreme is going to be big chillin here as well, holding it nice and quiet up into San Martin. We don't see too much opposition here. We got Sage on the opposite end, so it could be an exciting turnaround. And of course, we have Turn Ever, I believe. Turn Fever. There we go. Probably helps if I read properly, right? Turn Fever over on the edge there as well. So it could be quite a bit of a surprise coming through onto Extreme.
Could be a bit of a surprise right over there, but it does look like he is at distance, so he's still quite comfortable right now with the way things are looking like. But I just want to give away some information to the viewers. There's a giveaway that you guys could win. It is a total of 2,640 UC points, and all you need to do is go onto social media and make a post using the hashtag PUBGMCCZA, and as well as tag PUBG Mobile and at Carry First on how you guys watching the live stream. You can put a picture of the live stream. If it's from Carry First, if it's from PUBG Mobile Africa Official, just let us know, and the winners will be picked at random if all criteria is met. So if you guys want to be walking away with that giveaway, just make sure to go ahead onto social media using that hashtag PUBG MCCZA, as well as atting PUBG Mobile and at Carry First. Now, coming through over here with these players right now, as things stand, 49 players. Leopard picking up an elimination, quite fantastic for him. We've got Demon over here, just quite close to light 420 in an Osborne's position as well. Utility is quite low, so he needs to be careful on how he's going to be taking or approaching this fight if it does go into it. But as things stand, it's quite slow for these two players here in this vicinity.
Yeah, it does seem to be a little bit slow. But as we can see, Demon on the screen there needs to watch out for the player on the opposing side. Because if they start tickling, it's going to be quite tactical. We do see Tom Astro also here on the opposite side of Picado. We do have Nanex in here as well, so could be a bit of a continuation, but it is going to be a big gamble for Nanex up in that casino, because once he makes it to that top floor and he gets to the opening in the wall, that would put them right in line of sight of Tom Astro. But luckily, Nanex has a good read on the situation, quickly deals with the opposition, one player down. Now there's one more left to go. So Maggie rather, is going to try and just keep a little bit of silence there for themselves, trying to maybe get the jump in here. We do see a vehicle explosion coming through here as well, as Siabonga is going to be taken on down. A quick rush now as Nanex looks to rotate up. Maggie is going to keep it nice and quiet, is going to try and utilize that. Nanex has been found. But let's see what the response will be. Is it going to be a full showing of aggression coming through from the side here of Nanex? Or will Maggie maybe be able to get the jump in? Nanex now trying to get a good sus on the play. Nice bit of third-party peek, making sure all the angles are covered, that there's no element that they are not aware of. But the pressure is on here. I mean, Nanex performed quite well in the previous match, picking up those 3 eliminations. Currently sitting with only 1. Is Meggy going to be the second Elam, or will this be the end of the run here for Nanex? Just a little bit of caution up in the window. A few utilities, once they start flying on through, that could maybe spell a bit of disaster coming through then. But so far, Meggy, Nanex, both just keeping their distance. And Picado is surprisingly quiet. I was expecting to see potentially maybe even more people looking to drop in here. But, well, now the pressure is on these two players to make the most out of the situation. They've got a lot of participants also still caught out in the blue. So it is going to be an interesting rotation. Of course, it is solo, so there will be no opportunity for a res. So if the blue kicks your butt, well, that is your butt then kicked completely. Speaking about butts, though, Sky is going to be moving up, and a beautiful segue there from me. Well done, DK. Thank you so much. It's going to be Nanex looking for the jump onto Maggie. Will Nanex get it? Come on, Nanex.
Oh, no ways. This is perfect opportunity for Nanex, but he does take the time to sort of take the opportunity to get onto Maggie over there, Maggie, and she or he has now gone into the building on the low grounds. So it's all about positioning who is going to have the better advantage in terms of scope. And right now we move over to Sage, who finds himself in a fight against Deadshot. We did see um, the likes of DK saying he's hoping to find this player do much better. This could be the turning point here for him if he's able to pick up some eliminations. There's two players in this vicinity, Soulman quite close, and as well as Sage right over here. Sage in the open right over there, in an opportunity, but he needs to be careful with third parties coming involved over here as well.
Mhm.
Deadshot, unfortunately, has he taken any shots in there? So
Ooh.
man, third party, perfect shot coming out from him, and that is his third elimination of the round over here. And it doesn't look like Soulman wants any furthermore action. He's happy with that elimination point coming in for himself, and are now going to be rotating out of this one over here. Deadshot still remains alive and fighting over with 40 other players remaining.
Yeah, I mean, for the Snowman, rather, it's a pretty good spot, right? The most eliminations, the most damage currently on the board. So, good way to kind of set that precedent. But now it is going to be a little bit of contention coming in here for Shaddy. As you can see, Los Leones not being completely open. Soulman now maybe going to be found here. Let's see if anything will be happening. They are going to be starting to roll through, looking for footsteps, looking for any kind of an indication as to the whereabouts of players in the vicinity. Meanwhile, is going to be Zod holding up just to the north there of Shaddy. Pretty sure that Shaddy has already been spotted. You can see both players essentially just staring at each other, admiring the skill the other player has had to make it up into Los Leones. But it might be short lived as Jelly is going to come rolling through as well. So, whatever they want to do, they got to get right down to business because, as we know, eliminations are up for grabs here. And of course, everybody is playing for that share of the prize pool. So, 10K up for that first place. Who's going to be the one to sit at the top of the board? Meanwhile, Mag is going to be lighting it up there as they get a spray across the way. Jelly now looking for that southern positioning. And I think for these players up into the lovely Los Leones, it could provide them with quite a bit of an opportunity. We see Sahil also coming through on that far side. That is going to be angry Sahil. Hopefully, he has now been able to calm down quite a bit as you need to focus up coming into these later few stages.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, game two, I think, is your deciding factor on where you're going to be finishing on this tournament. I always look at like when it comes down to battle royale, as your 50% sort of game remaining. If you're already doing well, you could finish well. But we've seen how RNG battle royale can be. I mean, someone can walk away with two back-to-back winner chicken dinners and massive kill counts and find themselves sitting at the top of the leaderboard, which is two game played and one half decent game, one bad game. But I don't know. PUBG is seemed a lot more consistent than the other battle royale titles that do exist inside the genre. But as things stand right now, let's see exactly. Tokyo gets taken out on rotate over here. Zetsu responsible for that as he sits in this blue zone and happy to pick himself up an elimination right over there.
Yeah, an easy clap coming through for Zetsun, of course, being given a vehicle as well. It's not going to take it, but it is there. We do see Kazunho also here, who performed quite well in the previous match as well. 4 eliminations is what they had to their name. Now it is going to be 3, so coming in close second currently with the total amount of eliminations. Will we see more come through here from Kazan? Are they going to be able to get the jump? We do see Last Blow off in the distance. Last Blow again, trying to make it up into that much later game, but already getting spotted out is not the way to go, as Kazan is going to look to stop the run here. Last Blow. Let's see. Can they survive? Soulman, that does find Extreme, though, in the feed. And both those players were, of
Mm.
course, sitting side by side on the overall standings, both coming into this match with 6 points total. Now that does change up the dynamic ever so slightly. Gazanho not going to be too determined to take that engagement with Last Blow just yet. Is instead going to look to prioritize zone positioning potentially, unless they look to get the high ground secured. But it's going to be Last Blow now having to sip on that blue juice, and ooh, it is going to hurt quite a bit.
We're still keeping scope on Last Blow over here. Last Blow has, done his rat strat in game number one. Does look like he's going for it again in game number two, but Kaijuno doesn't look like he's going to be giving away an opportunity for rotate for Last Blow. And Last Blow can clearly see exactly what is happening there in the distance, so he's not going to be rotating anytime soon. But the thing about staying in the danger zone is you're taking away ever so slightly at your HP. And if you don't make it out in time, you could find yourself being sent back to the lobby. If you have enough utilities, you can survive it, but it's not always so easy. We got For the Babies right now on a rotate over here, 0 eliminations to his name, and right now just rotating, anywhere. New vehicle, he finds himself in. Jelly in a good position as well. Right over here, you got Jelly, you got Mafia in the same position, you got Shroud also in the same sort of vicinity. So lots of players over here. They need to be very careful on their position. I know, and Jelly's like in an open building. Everyone is inviting people to look at him if scopes do turn to the likes of Jelly right now.
Yeah. So let's see whether or not Jelly is going to be able to tank a few of those hits. I don't believe they would be able to. Of course, phase 4 is getting ready to hit as well. One thing that I got to say, though, is these rotations with the vehicles sticking to the road, that is very bold. I mean, the confidence level is exceptionally high, but we've been seeing that being quite costly as a lot of players have been taken out as they stick to the roads, right? I think maybe opting for a little bit more of a different strategy could be slightly more
Mm.
secure. Meanwhile, it is going to be Young Blood just ahead here of Shroud. Even more players now continuing to push on up. Jelly seems to have an infinite supply of fuel as they are rotating all over the place. Now looking for, again, a little bit of that elevation. And I think coming into the blue stack here could be a good opportunity for Jelly to get a vantage point. But if they're not careful, Mafia is going to find them. And that could definitely spoil their fun right then and there. But it's going to be Shaddy. Ooh,
Oh,
looking to rush up. A little bit of contention here as Jelly needs to relocate. The pressure is on. Fortunately, Shaddy didn't look to do too much just yet. But now, of course, firing off the shots is going to draw quite a bit of attention. And all those players in the surrounding area are going to be focused in on your position as well.
definitely. I mean, shots call for third party to come involved over here. And right now, with player in your building, Jelly did also look a bit nervous to see that player run by, just randomly shot without even getting a scope on the opponent. But Shady does look to be leaving the building area right now. And Jelly as well jumps out the window and maybe going in for a different rotate. But right now, guys, 22 players do remain. We do find ourselves here slowly taking away the player count. And Sahil, the game one winner chicken dinner, still alive. One elimination to their name as well, which is quite fantastic to see some consistency go in. We've got Gen C odd, 0 eliminations, 0 damage, and staying passive in his rotates right here. But he needs to be careful. So many players are in and around the vicinity and not in a good retail position for themselves right now. We got that stage 4 with 1 minute 20 seconds until we go into the next count over there. And there's Gen Z Odd just getting eliminated by an opponent. I didn't quite see who took him out right over there, but definitely in and out, down to 21 players and taking massive damage is Mag! Sahil from distance manages to get the scope on Mag, and we've seen Mag in game number 1 with 6 eliminations at hand, and unfortunately didn't react in time to those shots being fired at distance right over there, and he gets eliminated right now. So unfortunate. I think Mag has the talent, to be standing here in an end game position, but unfortunately is going to be taken quite early out of this round number 2. 20 players remain, 35 seconds on that danger zone to shrink once more. And we're seeing so many of the players that were part of endgame get taken out quite early right now. We got Ayanda who's going into rotate, but Devil just warning some fire shots right over there, potentially going in for a throw there, but he's going to get spiked and take massive damage. But managing to heal up right over here, use some utilities. Yayanda also took a bit of damage from that nade throw. But other than that, he's got pressure now with the danger zone just sneaking in behind. And I think he's going to be fine with the safe zone right now.
Well, let's see if Ayanda can double down on the aggression here. Devil showed that fire and flames will not prevent them. They'll even catch the molly with their body. It just works that way. But the zone is going to apply a lot of pressure onto them. So Shroud with the off angle could definitely be quite devastating. Unfortunately, though, for Ayanda, not going to be able to find anything as Devil has been picked up. We do see Sahil, of course, now just looking to thin the herd, finding head after head. We saw Mag getting taken down by Sahil earlier, so you got to give it up to Sahil. Really looking to make things a little bit more comfortable getting into those later few stages. Young Blood, though, going to try and rotate up. It is going to be Shroud in hot pursuit. We see Soulman there as well. Soulman, as we saw in the first match, securing themselves one elimination, could be presented with even more as everybody now pulls up to the party. It is going to be a showdown, and Shroud walking away with their first elimination of game number 2. But now, who will be the one to clutch it up? We still have 17 players left. We have not a lot of space remaining in this current zone. But we see Victor, I believe that is off in the distance there as they are just holding onto the edge. So very cautious gameplay here, but it makes sense, right? We are having solos, so you can't be too aggressive with the way that you rotate through here. Zetsu also in the distance, trying to regain a bit of that territory, trying to get themselves resituated. Yeah. But now Victor, is Victor going to be the victor, or will Victor be a victim? There's Nanex as well. Come on, Nanex. What are you going to do up on the edge of the zone?
On the edge of the zone. 3 eliminations, though. So Nanex is doing quite well this game over here. And when you're looking at his positioning, it's not too bad, but can be quite difficult when it now has to rotate even further into that safe zone. And we're just seeing everyone, sort of next to each other when we look at that overview map. Ayanda very out of that safe zone right now. He's using rat plays to rotate. For the baby, still alive over here, sitting with those 0 eliminations still. And right now at the low ground, I don't think this building is going to be accommodated. It doesn't look like it on the mini-map over there. So he's just, doing nothing with those nades right now. Smoke nades going in place, but that also gives his location off if it does go out of the building. Now, when it comes down to it, 16 players will remain over here, guys. We do got winner chicken dinner for game number 1 still alive, Sahil, so he's staying consistent in terms of that leaderboard. We are seeing some other new players come in for the top 20 players, if you could call it, like players like Supreme, which finished first on that qualifying list. He's here in the end game as well. And Zetsu gets eliminated. Ayanda is also part of those players that we didn't get to see last time around. He picks up his first elimination right now on Zetsu. Zetsu gets sent back to the lobby. 15 players remain. I don't know what Switch is doing, making his location known. It could be that for the babies, he was actually putting smoke grenades because there was a player in the same building as these. You just couldn't see it in that mini map right over there. Shade is still alive, 1 elimination to his name as well. But man, it's crowded in this small space where a lot of them are now going to need to rotate into the safe zone.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a pressure play for a lot of players on that southern side of zone. I mean, everybody now going to try and move up into the north. As we can see, Kazan is going to be the only one currently situated up onto that northeastern side. Jelly is going to be the first one to take the plunge, is going to try and play for a position, but nobody wants to give up the cover that they've worked so hard to get themselves situated in. Supreme, though, is going to be knocking on the door here. Jelly trying to find a little bit of an off-angle approach. The molly's now starting to fly on up. Young Blood rotating through, so quite a bit of noise being made. But now, Jetty quickly recovering a little bit of that health. Not quite the same as Devil that can catch it with their body, but instead the nade is going to assist that health bar to go even further down. Now, for the babies getting picked up there as Switch locks in the shot. Oh, that is getting scary close. Jelly trying everything, but gets caught with a bandage in their hand. Out they are. Young Blood, in the meantime, is going to look to rotate up into a little bit more of a centralized positioning here. We still have 12 players remaining, and we can see the spread all across that northern side of zone. We've got Nanex there. We've got Newbie in. Young Blood now looking could maybe find themselves a bit of Victor over on the edge, but Victor is going to try and keep it nice and quiet. Doesn't want to get found out just yet, but this could be a very interesting opportunity now between Victor and Young Blood.
Could be indeed, and it does look like a couple of shots taken here at the vehicle. Youngblood looking to disengage completely from the area. And in the open he goes, and damage is being taken, and he
Ooh.
is going to get eliminated. And it is going to be Victor who's going to do exactly that right over there. 10 players, the top 10 players for game number 2 are now standing here. And slowly we'll be noticing who will be the last remaining players. Sahil at distance over there in the scope of
Oof.
Nanix right now, but massive damage here for Nanix. I think Victor was responsible for that. Supreme managing to take out Mosha over there, and we're seeing slowly these players coming down to bare minimum, and we're going to be fighting for that winner chicken dinner in no time. It is Shroud over here who's stayed in this position for the longest time, and I think good Retail's position that he found himself in. And Switch going down to Shady. Shady has also been quite active this time around here, DK. We're seeing his name pop up quite a bit over there. Kaizeno, 4 eliminations, second most eliminations here in the game. We've got Newbies, Shady, Supreme in distance over there. Kaizeno can just comfortably rotate with the vehicle at hand and get himself into the safe zone. Needs to be careful with players around him though. We got Shroud just right over there. We've got Newbie rotating in a vehicle and going directly to where Kaizeno is. And what could this mean? I thought maybe we are going to see an accident coming into play, but it doesn't look like he pushed forward. And right now,
Ooh.
Newbie playing quite noobish and just going in the open, going up against Nanix right now. What does this mean for him? Will he get some shots on it? It does look like Nanix is at a more of an advantage in terms of shooting his opponent and getting that elimination. It is the fourth elim that he finds himself with, using his utilities to heal up just before that zone starts to shrink once more and getting into that safe zone over there. Kaizono didn't get into that third party play, and I think, you know what, patience is more important here because we are getting into key zones where uh, positioning and as well as placement points matter the most right now. But for these players, they got 20 seconds to now see exactly what it means for them, where they rotate, how they rotate, and we'll see that coming to play very soon.
Well, now the pressure is going to be on here. What can Kazan do with their position all the way up towards the north? Danex also securing themselves a personal best so far in today's matches, coming through with those 4 eliminations, one more than what we saw in match number 1. Supreme also going to try and find a little bit of an entry point into that zone. Sahil, the victor of the first match, is going to be super low in health. And speaking about Victor, finding Nanix there, so a quick abrupt end coming through. Sahil though managing to get that health patch back up again. Shady is going to be hiding behind the box. So
Oh
Shroud
no.
finding Victor. I love the chain fights. Continuous hit after hit, continuing to just double down. Sahil now going to try and use this opportunity to get repositioned, relocated. But you got to watch out. Shroud and Kazano are going to be right on the edge. Supreme trying everything they can to catch up to that push now. But here we have it. Shroud heard a few noises being made on the side. Sahil getting met with a beautiful nade over the top. One more nade could end the run right here. Shroud is going to now try to aggress as they come forward. The nade is on the money. Shroud slam dunking their way into the top 4.
Perfect Kobe's right over there. Sahil gets taken out. No back-to-back wins for him. Kaizono gets taken out at distance. Supreme is coming back, reclaiming his positioning that we did see on that qualifying list. 5 eliminations, sitting at as the elimination leader right now for game number 2. And I mean, he's been aggressive. He's done well. He's put himself in good positioning, taken massive long-distance range shots. Shroud taking a bit of damage right over there. 3 players remain, and that will be determining who will be walking away with the winner chicken dinner. And right now, it is between Supreme and Shroud on whether this 1v1 is going to be taken forth. But Shroud needs to be a bit careful. Shady is at a position where if he moves just over this heighted position, he can perfectly see where Supreme is located and take him out, and it will be a 1v1 against him and Shroud. And I think if Shady is smart, he could potentially do that. He heard the shots come through, no doubt. So putting in a couple of smoke grenades is going to reveal his location. But Shady right now, let's see exactly what happens.
Well, here we go. Shady just trying to play the elevated angle here, but unfortunately it is not quite within that zone. So Supreme and Shroud They have the setup. I'm not sure if that AWM is going to be of any use to Shady right now. Supreme, though, is going to be spotted out as they look to run back into the zone. Shroud not being able to get that shot in just yet. Getting really close, but unfortunately not close enough. But Shady on the high ground could definitely be a major upset here for the success of Supreme. And this is a very uncomfortable sandwich to get caught into. But now, Shady inching their way forward. The Blues still just nipping at their heels. This could be either a phenomenal play or an absolutely costly engagement. So far, it seems to be costly because right down they go. Now, it is Shroud and Supreme looking to settle the dispute. Who will be the player to secure themselves the winner chicken dinner? Supreme now sitting with a very comfortable 5 eliminations to their name, looking absolutely phenomenal at this point. Shroud coming through with 4, so also having done quite a bit of damage here, but it is stage number 9, so there is no more phase after this. It is only go time. Now, who will be the one to get that victory? Who will be the one to walk away with the winner chicken dinner? But this is great for both players here. I mean, Arrow, neither of them have made it to this stage in the previous match, so again, good to see everybody looking to push the envelope as far as they can. Shroud, of course, finding themselves in a bit of a situation here, right? Both Shroud and Supreme equally spaced from that center zone. But as you can see now, Supreme has taken the opportunity to play for a little bit of an advantage. Shroud, rather, trying to get up onto the roof, trying to play a little bit of that elevated positioning here, trying to see, can they get a good read already? They know exactly where Supreme is. Now comes the barrage of utility, sending everything out, excluding the kitchen sink. But one well-placed nade is all that's needed for Shroud now to get that Kobe over onto Supreme and, of course, walk away with a very fat winner chicken dinner. Will Supreme be able to end it? 1-8 also, either which way, right? It is coming down to the wire. No one wants to be out in the open, but that blue is going to force the hand. Shroud now starting to push up. Unfortunately, the wall is going to provide very strong cover here, but Supreme still on the ridge. This could be their ticket to that winner chicken dinner. As you can see, Shroud now having very limited options. The next play is going to be quite a revealing position then. Is now a quick re-scattering here. Shroud and Supreme are in the final showdown. Oh, come on, get the hits. It's almost there. Down goes the shots. Come on, Shroud is super low on health, and there we have it. Supreme will reign supreme as they get their hands on the dub. The winner chicken dinner, 6 eliminations. So a lovely 16 points heading over to the side of Supreme.
Yeah, honestly, beautiful showcase of performance, and really RNG played in his favor, right? We did see Shroud, who had the better position in terms of natural cover in and around him, but that safe zone was just not for him. He was endangered by that blue zone and had to push towards Supreme, and Supreme just stayed patient and got awarded in the end over there. So that was quite fantastic to see coming out for Supreme, managing to get himself a winner chicken dinner. And I think also proving, to all the competitors that, guys, I didn't just finish at the top of the qualifying list for no reason. I am probably the best that you guys can see. And with game 1, we saw him get taken out very, very early. But with now the performance that he showcased right over here, we see him at the top of game number 2, and as well as the most eliminations you can get in game number 2 right over here, which is absolutely fantastic. Shroud on the other side of things also puts a lot of effort. He found himself in dangerous moments, but he won and got himself in a second place position right over there, which is quite fantastic to see come out over there. Couple disappointments here is Mac going out quite early at the 20th position, but other than that, guys, this was Miramar. It was a fantastic place that was displayed for us throughout the entire game, and shout out to the production for showing as much as they could right over here. But DK, any last words for you for that game?
No, I just saw a funny way to say what happened at the end of the game in the chat. Someone say Supreme clenched and then took the dub, right? I mean, very true. Very, very true statement to make. That is, yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. So, yeah, well done on that one, Zero. But It's exciting to see that the players who dominated in match number 1 are not necessarily the players that dominate in game number 2. So it's going to be a pretty tough play, especially heading into match number 3. Of course, we are heading into Sanok, which is much smaller than what we've just had. So you get brutally punished if you make any mistakes. So the pressure is going to be on, but there's also an opportunity for a very dominating performance to come through.
Definitely, it's the third-party map of Battle Royale. Guys, we'll be back for game number 3. Just make sure you guys don't go anywhere. Don't forget about that giveaway where you guys could be walking away with a couple UC points right over there. All you gotta do is go over to social media, make a post using the hashtag PUBGM, and then CCZA, and all you need to do is at PUBG Mobile and at Carry First. Let us know how you're watching the stream right over here, guys, and we'll see you guys in just a bit. We are back with even more action of the PUBG Mobile Campus Championship for South Africa. Now, 2 games have gone by, done and dusted, and we have 2 separate winner-winner chicken dinners. The first game was Sahil, second game was Supreme, managed to prove himself over there. Will the third game serve differently for these players right over here? Well, we have yet to find out. But I think DK, looking at this leaderboard that's about to show up right now, there's going to be a lot of changes here, and we can definitely see that coming in. Sahil still remaining in that first place position, but by only 4 points. Kaizano coming in there in second with 22 points. Mag in third with 18. Nanex in fourth with 17. Supreme pushing all the way to the very top with that 16-point game that he got in game number 2. Soulman in sixth over there with 14. Crowd in 7 with 13, tied with Mafia. 9th is Movie, tied with Switch in 10th. And we got Keegan Francis in 11th with 11 points and tied all the way down to the 13th place position. Now, big changes coming through over here. Obviously, the biggest one is going to be for Supreme, where he managed to get that first place with 6 eliminations, guaranteeing him 16 points. And that just shows that, you can have the worst game to play, but then come out and finishing now in the top 5 positioning of the game number 2.
Yeah, you can have your toast buttered on both ends. And speaking about getting your butter toasted, we are going to be hopping straight into the lovely map of Sandock. Yes, I did say get your butter toasted, because why not? We are going to be jumping into a map where the flight path doesn't really matter. It's all going to be down to where the players are going to look to get themselves situated. I'm hoping to see a little bit of a hot drop, maybe, potentially, right? We've got Brute Camp in there. We've got quite a few other positions. Hatin is also usually a spot that gets quite a bit of a reception there as well. Ruins, by none. So many angles to go for. Paradise, okay, a cow, that mock, anywhere could be the hot spot to go for. We do see a little bit of potential action now starting to build in both that northwestern island as well as a little bit further down to the south. Sami is going to be receiving a few players heading in that direction. But now it's all going to be down to go time, right? Hatin could be our first point of contention here.
Could definitely be. And I mean, a lot of drop spots are going to be contested here off the bat. And we got Kovacs already in the suit of equipping some utilities, picking up some weapons, found himself with the shotgun and as well as an AR, which will be quite good for him and not wasting any time looking to go into the next building where Astro is going to be quite near, and he needs to be careful of his surroundings already, just sorting out his loadout, making sure everything is good. And we've got Kovacs right now just sitting in that building right over there. And it is going to be a hard time with 3 players. Astro coming in very close over here, also ready for some action. And Uzi's at hand, if I'm not mistaken.
It's an interesting push coming through here from Tom Astro. We did see Tom also in the previous match also getting into some early engagements, not spending too much time staying stationary, but now steps up, spots the angle, boop, 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 and there we go. Easy claps. Tom Astro not even breaking a sweat, right? Yeah, did break a little bit of HP there, but it's like, I mean, that was yeah. Moving in, it's like, okay, I'll just walk slow, turn to the player, go, hi, how you doing? Having a good day?
Yeah,
Sure. It's like, all right, well, lobby's over there. What? Lobby, I said, brah. And
yeah,
goes.
both reactions from those players were quite questionable right up there. I mean, Kovacs had a whole nap while that player was in front of him, and then woke up to shooting some shots over there, but unfortunately could not get the victory over there. Nanex, however, on the other side of things, picking up his first elimination. Kaizano getting taken out very early to the hands of Sky, and that's going to be quite tough for him over there, needing the final game then to be to the T perfect, because he's sitting in a comfortable position to be taking home some of that prize pool. But when you get eliminated literally off the bat, you're not picking up any points, then you find yourself needing to be perfect for last game. Nanex going up against Ghost right now. We've seen this in the past as well. Let's see exactly who can come out on top right now. We do got Victor, Nanex, and Ghost, and it is going to be Nanex who takes the victory over here. The second elimination, also sitting at the top right now with 2 eliminations at hand. I mean, we're talking about, a lot of the action going to be boiling in this map, and this is the most fun map for me. I mean, even when it comes down to just how quick combating is going to be, it's all about looting and moving on to the next fighting position. And if you take too long, you just invite third parties to join up and get involved as well. We did see Victor last time around. I think for DK, it was more favorable, or wishing that Victor could do well. Unfortunately, didn't get to the very end to grab that victory and got sent back to the lobby. Could it be different for him this time around? We're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, we definitely will have to wait. But now we see the players not necessarily overly committing to getting aggressive, right? You can see a lot of distribution all across the map. So you got to be thankful that the players are respecting the space, but this is solos. They got to step it up. They got to look to make some other people angry. Why not? Because it works. Loch Ness now going to be just chilling over here. It'd be so great if Loch Ness went into the water, right? Because then for once at least, I can say I have spotted Loch Ness. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, as Loch Ness, of course, makes a quick way back into the lobby. Is going to be Zetsu to end the run for them. Extreme now looking to get a little bit more of an elevated position here as they look to play the high ground situation. This seems to be Cave or somewhere. No, Cave is much further down south. So, yeah. I mean, it's not too far away, of course, up in towards Kampong. Cave right over on the edge, but Extreme needs to be cautious because Zetsu is over on towards that southwestern side. And as we know, Zetsu has already gotten a little bit of a taste of the action. Is going to look for more as they have only one elimination currently to their tally here. Of course, with the big cat on your back, you know, you're going to have to be hungry because it's just going to be so demanding. But yeah, where will these players choose their next engagement? That's going to be the big question here, Aero.
Yeah, let's see exactly what it looks like. I mean, we're down to 37 players already so quickly, DK, and that just shows exactly how many drop spots were contested and who are the aggressors. Mag alive here, and we didn't see a big performance come out from Mag as he did get eliminated quite early. Supreme winner chicken dinner for game number 2 has been taken out by Nanix, if I'm not mistaken, right over there. So Nanix taking out that winner over there is going to push him out of that top 5 positioning. We'll see what that means for the last final game of Irango. We also did see Supreme and Irango get taken out quite early, and Namix gets eliminated by Victor. So much happening in that kill feed right there. Three Sky just sitting outside Camp Bravo. Sahil rotating in the open over there as well, and we do see Sahil alive, which is quite fantastic. He's sitting at the top of the leaderboard right now as things stand. Deadshot taking out King Spa, and Victor with one elimination in hand. He's quite happy just looting that body in which he just picked up that elimination of Nanit.
Well, as there's a famous saying that says, to the victor goes the spoils, right? And we saw it there on camera. So well done to Victor for enjoying the spoils of bootcamp. But that's going to be down to the next push, the next play. We got Switch also looking to potentially maybe switch things up as they rotate up through Painan. Unfortunately, no opposition over on towards the eastern side of the waterway. But we do see another player just held over in the blue over on that western front. So Switch will definitely need to get that rotation secured as the blue is going to come rotating in. It's going to force their hand. They will have to just get on the edge here. But again, there's an opportunity for a bit of that gatekeeping to come through. We've not really seen too much of that, but we have seen Shroud in the feed before. Maybe this could be an opportunity for Switch to get a little bit of that Mayo action as Mayo is trying to get further and further up the hill. It's not quite an uphill battle, but it could definitely be a little bit of bloodshed coming through pretty soon once both of these players find each other.
Looking at it right now, I think, just continue heading for that white line to safe zone. Taking a fight right now, finding yourself being eliminated just below the top 40 players won't be exactly where you want to find yourself in right there. Gladiator, one elimination at hand, looking pretty much decent for himself. There is one player still in the vicinity, and that's going to be Mag, who's going to be in that position. It could be two players, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it just Mag? It's just Mag. But 33 players remain over here. It's very tough with some of the pros that we've seen get eliminated already off the bat. So it opens up again a playing field of new end games where we'll see new players come into the final positioning over there. Like, for example, Shroud going into the top two finish last game around. So who is it going to invite this for game number three? We get
Ooh.
Zest2 eliminated here. Extreme taking that one, which is bringing these player counts down to 31. Shroud sitting on two. I think everyone is sort of 2 or 1 kills that they have at hand right now. Sai Hill, playing it passive, is sitting up in a box right now. Doesn't want too much attention to himself. And I mean, do you blame him? There's only 4 points between first and second. I don't know if Kaizeno is still alive in this one. I didn't see his name get eliminated, but Killer March has been taken out right there. And we're just looking at the players remaining. I don't see Kaizen in that player list. So it could be that he could have been eliminated. And Last Blow gets taken out. Switch is responsible for that. And Switch with 2 eliminations, he's doing quite well for himself this time around.
Yeah, I like what Switch is doing here. Definitely looking to step it up. Of course, as we know, Switch has come into this match, I believe, with 12 points to their name already. Unless there's another Switch, right? So maybe they pulled a quick switch on us. Of course, we'll find out eventually. But in the meantime, it's going to be MSP also just climbing further up the hill, trying to decide which way to go. Are they going to go over to Venom? Are they going to go over to Switch? Or maybe looking for a little bit of that mayo sandwich on the opposite side there. Venom could be presented with a bit of an opportunity here if MSP is not cautious enough. But they are quite quiet here. No, Venom trying to step out. Not quite sure why they go to stand in the door. That's a very different kind of approach. Like, is anybody out there standing in the door? The answer is, well, most definitely yes. This is Sanok, right? If you make any mistakes, you will get punished, as Venom now kind of found out there. Fortunately for Venom, there was at least some reaction managing to get in. There we go. Venom closing the door, as one should. So this will give Venom a bit of an opportunity to get that loot in quiet, right? Not sit there with a wide open position and go through the boxes.
Yeah, there's no friendlies when it comes down to a solo tournament right over here. In fact, no friendlies, no matter the format. Shroud still alive, 2 eliminations here. 28 players remain. We got 45 seconds until that danger zone starts shrinking, and already so much players are quite close to one another right here in their vicinities. But very passively, we're seeing this. I think if it was squads, we've been a lot more faster paced in terms of Sanok, but right now things are just slowing down quite. And I mean, ever so the nature of battle royale mid game is where things will slow down quite a bit. End game is by far the most exciting when it comes down to the genre itself. We've got Tokyo, who's up against Henny for retail space, and I don't think fighting will take place. We'll see what that looks like. I mean, Henny is in his own world himself. Opening that door does give location to whereabouts he is, and we'll see what that is going to be looking like right now.
Yeah, Heine, definitely an interesting name, I gotta say. So I'm good. I'm quite relieved rather to see that Tokyo has decided to not opt for vehicles this time around, as we did see that being the demise of Tokyo in
Mm.
the previous match. So I would say that is a good decision. And also on a map like Sanok, I don't necessarily recommend vehicles. It is quite revealing for the rest of the players. But now, if Heine makes it over that hill, it is going to be Montego and potentially Kim on the opposite end that will be welcoming them in with open barrels. But let's see who's going to be one to spot out that push coming through. Montego also just getting a little bit of loot. Can't fault that. I'm quite a bit of a loot goblin myself. There's never enough loot anywhere on the map, even when your bag is full. Void also just up on the hill. So let's see whether or not Void is going to be able to maybe make a little bit of something happen over here. I mean, we've seen Void in the lobby, but we are yet to see Void get some eliminations secured on screen as well. So Hill is still going to be holding up in center zone. We got Mag also over here. And let's see who's going to be the one to drive this one home. Gladiator getting that shield primed and ready. But is that going to be enough, though, to ensure their position coming into phase number 4?
We'll have to wait and see exactly will look like. Mag taking massive damage, and he's going to get that elimination as well. Beautiful plays coming out from him. 21 players remaining. Youngblood in a building right here. It doesn't look like too much contention coming out. Victor is going to get eliminated. Deadshot responsible for that. And we're seeing these players, drop like flies. Montego goes out, and that is going to be Kim. And we've got 4 eliminations to Deadshot. Hello? You've woken up after 2 games. Sitting at 4 eliminations is quite an achievement right over here in Sanok. Mag rotating out into the safe zone. Extreme as well, doing the same. And you can see just potential positioning here for Extreme, just to hug that blue zone and wait for it to shrink. So he's not going to be going in as everyone else finds retail space in the safe zones right now. And when we look at it, Shady's also quite close to him. Mag just goes in deeper than the rest. And we got Leopard still alive, Sahil still alive. So he's quite happy with that, picking up some placement points overall. And for the babies in this position, we did see him get taken out quite early last game around as well, about a top 20. And he finds himself yet again in that same position.
Well, here we go with the rotate coming up. For the babies is going to be looking to leg it into that zone. I mean, this is not a bad setup to go for. Looking to find yourself on a bit of that elevated positioning here, especially with Shroud, a few others just up ahead. It is going to be Switch coming in right behind for the babies. Oh, so you got to be careful, because this could be quite detrimental, as Switch has already spotted it. There we go. The nade is in. The Elam is up. And there we have it, down to 17. Sahil off in the distance there. Shroud right over here. So Switch so far doing a really good job. 3 eliminations up and 300 damage on the dot. Extreme, though, is going to find Shady in the feed. It is going to be Leopard also now looking to rotate up as well. So the players will start to converge and just get themselves up close and impersonal, as Headshot goes down. Oh, goodness. Had 4 eliminations up. Was looking so good. But then, of course, well, Sanok happened. Meggy also going to be trying to play a little bit of that surprise angle. Siabonga getting ready for a little bit of something here as well. But will Siabonga be able to secure elimination?
We'll have to wait and see exactly what that's going to be looking like. He's playing on the line of zones, so just getting in zone by zone, trying to stay away from everyone in terms of fighting capability. Switch on the other side of things also doing the same right here. You can see majority of the players are just hugging the outside zone and not pushing inwards. We got a couple of people that have found a retail space earlier on, have been there for some stages, so they've comfortably found themselves in good positioning. Mafia just being alert, Soulman knows he's there and almost threw a grenade into his positioning. But I think he's quite comfortable with the way things are standing. 13 players remain. And I mean, you blinked, you missed out on a lot of the action that did go down this game here in Sanok, where it is the third of the 4 games that is being played today, guys. So we got one more game, and that means we're going to go back to Erangel for the final game. Mag gets taken out by Meggy, and Sahil takes out Venom. Sahil is doing quite well, I have to say. He's been consistent throughout the 3 games. Even if it isn't eliminations, it is, getting into good positioning that guarantees him some placement points. And with the performance he displayed in game number 1, it did give him a huge advantage. Siabonga, unfortunately, will not be getting that elimination at hand, as Meggy is going to pick up that kill over there. We got MSP and Shroud in the distance over here, switching an awkward position. I mean, he's surrounded by a couple players to the left, to the right, and he's not in the safe zone, so it's going to be quite tough to see exactly how will he be able to make that rotate. Will he do it successfully? We'll have to wait and see. Shroud on the other side, I think good position for himself, but not for long, as the stage is going to be shrinking once more, and we'll see exactly where that safe zone is going to relocate to. But 10 players now remain, and we've got Switch going out to be a sharp, perfect opportunity for damage. Has the grenade at hand, goes outside with his home, and doesn't look where, or if there is going to be concession in and around. Gets 61 damage. Quite successful Kobe throw over there, and going in for another one. Does he connect? Does he get Switch out of this? And he does! Beautiful grenade thrown at a Switch over there, and both of them connecting for a elimination over there. Picking up his third one, second top most eliminations right over here for the game. We've got 18 seconds until the stage is completely shrink, and we'll see where relocation is going to be taking place. But 9 players remain. Mafia here in a good position as well. And we do got players to the right of him, ahead of him. So rotation is quite limited when it comes down to it. And we'll see where is he going to be headed. More north for him as things stand for himself right now. Youngblood in a position, but not in the safe zone. Doesn't look like that, DK. So he's going to need to make some plays. But how can he? The retail space is congested right now.
Yeah, we did see a little bit of that MG3 play coming in as well. So that could be a few warning signs to the rest of the lobby. You got to watch out. There's someone with a big monster out on the battlefield. But now it's going to be Youngblood looking to be a monster here, sending out quite a few utilities. They've heard the footsteps there from Sahil. Mafia also trying to inch their way closer and closer to that zone. Kim very cautious on the very edge. Doesn't want to overextend just yet. Meggy also going to be just hugging this hill. Doesn't want to get themselves exposed just yet. But MSP is going to be spotting out a Youngblood as the spray comes through and down they go. An easy pickup. 4 eliminations now. Sitting quite comfortably here for MSP. Currently leading the charge on that aggression front. Now, Meggy needs to be quite cautious, especially with MSP moving up. Spots the opportunity. It's going to be iron sights, though, pretty much, right? The Hollow not bringing in too much of an opportunity here. It is quite difficult to hit at that range with the MG3. But let's see. Can Meggy make the magic happen? Of course, Stolman and the rest of the team, the rest of the lobby are on towards that eastern side. This reload is going to take about 5 minutes, so a very bold move being made here by Meggy. Whoop, there we go. 5 minutes has passed. In case you missed it, just pause and replay again. It is really, really sped up. Not really. Now it's going to be Mafia, Sahil, and the rest of the lobby. The final 7 players left to fight it out for the winner chicken dinner. Kim, oh, if Mafia spots you, I am so sorry, but that is going to be a quick ticket, potentially right back into the lobby. Soulman also keeping it nice and quiet. I mean, Soulman has also been quite consistent, right? Currently coming in with 14 points into this lobby, so there is an opportunity. Mafia just trailing by 1 point behind that, but can Mafia secure the necessary points, the necessary eliminations? Of course, if you can make it past the top 5, you are going to be quite happy, but who will be the ones blessed with that?
Well, we're going to have to wait and see. I like that Shroud has been alive in here. Sahil does get eliminated by Mafia. So unfortunate. 6 players remain. 1 more to get into that top 5 positioning finish. Kim finds himself in good position. Damage at distance, and that's Meggy who goes down. Soulman picks it up. And you're talking about consistency, and definitely consistent it has been. Mafia is quite low on HP, so if he gets pressured to move out of his house, over here is going to be getting eliminated, and there's some flame that could potentially take him out over there, and that is going to be beautifully calculated by Soulman, who picks up his 4th elimination. MSP takes out Shroud. Shroud, who finished 2nd last time around, unfortunately finishes 4th. MSP is responsible for that. Do got Kim, MSP, and Soulman here, guys, for a 3-way finish for winner chicken dinner. A couple damages at distance here from Kim, but just moving behind that tree. And we're seeing this being 15 seconds on that zone over there. A couple damages already by the zone. Presented here by Kim. The smoke grenade not placed down yet. Soulman can take advantage of this. Who's going to win the 1v1 battle between Soulman and Kim? Left, right. It's Soulman, and good damage coming out over there. But Kim could potentially win this with positioning, and he does. But quite low on HP. This could be a perfect opportunity for MSP to take that. And he does take advantage of it, going through with his first winner chicken dinner and 6 eliminations, guaranteeing him 16 points on that leaderboard. Kim in 2nd place with 2 eliminations, and we got Soulman in 3rd place with 4 eliminations. That was a good 3-way finish. Kim and Soulman were at it on that 1v1 situation, but unfortunately for Soulman, he did meet the dust and finished the 3rd over there. But still, he did quite well. I think he played that one quite fantastic, finding himself in the top 3 finish. But nonetheless, MSP, 6 eliminations, quite fantastic. We're going to win the chicken dinner there for him. We've had 3 different winners, which is good storytelling to a solo tournament. There's not that one player that stands out, abusing his talent and walking with 16-point games every game. So right now things are looking quite even, and I think going into that final one, it does give us a story to tell because the points are so close to one another. And I think after this game, we will see exactly what that leaderboard is going to be looking like. But that was a beautiful game. Sanok looked competitive, and I enjoyed that one right over there, DK.
Yeah, it was quite exciting, but seems there's a new ruling that has been made. You will not be allowed more than 6 eliminations with the winner chicken dinner, right? Game number 1, chicken, 6 elims. Game number 2, 6. Game number 3, 6. So I guess that's the new thing, right? You just have to settle for 16 points, and that's going to be anything. Well, that's the only thing that you'll be getting. But I think the big question is, of course, is match 4 going to be any different? The last match right here, the big decider, will the winner get more than 6 eliminations? That's the big question.
Well, what I've seen in Battle Royale is the last game, everyone does go out guns blazing except for the left side of the leaderboard because they know they're still in contention for that prize pool. So we could have someone on the right side of the leaderboard who's going to be throwing out everything because they outside of that contention for prize pool, and they would then need the kill points as well as a winner chicken dinner to go in for some Hail Mary. But yeah, 6 kills seems to be the new rule right over here, guys. We're going to take a little bit of a short break, but I want you guys to go and fetch your family, friends, and supporters for these PUBG mobile players. It is the Campus Championship here in South Africa, guys, and we're going into the final game of the grand finale to determine who'll be walking away with the share of 20,000 Rand prize pool. You don't want to miss it. You want to be here, so make sure you guys go and grab your snacks as we take this short break. Guys, it is that final moment to witness a greatness right over here in the PUBG Mobile Campus Championship. It is the fourth final game where we will be going back to the Erangel map, where we did see Sahil take the winner chicken dinner. Now, what does this mean for him taking out quite early? Is he still sitting at that leaderboard, or has he managed to, grab a second, third place position? Well, still sitting at the top, it seems. 11 eliminations in total with 33 points, and now also spreading the gap between first and second, where he's comfortably sitting with 8 points lead. Soulman in second with some consistency also displayed throughout his 3 games, 25 points. Galaxy Mag 24 in third, Shroud in fourth with 23. Kaizeno tied with Mafia in sixth with 22. We got Switch with 20 points in seven. Nanix tied with Christopher with 17. Supreme FPS still sitting on 16 points in 10th, and we've got Youngblood in 15, right over there on the left side of the leaderboard. Now, everyone on the right side of the leaderboard does not have an opportunity, or could potentially go in with an absolute bang and break the ruling of 6 eliminations and a winner chicken dinner there. We'll have to wait and see. But Erangel has officially kicked off. It is the final game right over here, guys, of the PUBG Mobile Campus Championship. So make sure you guys are glued to the screen if you guys want to see exactly who will be walking away with the total share of 20,000 Rand. Top 4 players are going to be taking that share of money, and the playing is going from multi-power all the way to query, and that's going to be quite good.
Yeah, it is going to be a very decent starting point here. So multi-power already receiving quite a little bit of action here. Quite a few players already looking to get themselves situated. I'm not quite sure if Quarry is going to be that crazy. We'll find out soon, but it is going to be the players now looking to get as far away from the plane as they can. As you can see, Demon and a few others heading straight up into Lopovka, so we might be in for quite a bit of a surprise here. We do see Ayanda there as well, so quite a few familiar names that we've already been seeing in the previous few matches stepping up to the plate, but that plate is only so big, right? It can only accommodate 4 seats. So if you want to be the one to get the share of the prize pool, you're going to have to bring in all the heat that you can find, right? Fortunately, it is summer, so finding heat is not going to be that difficult. But now, Switch, getting some of that loot going here. Demon right there alongside them. And of course, there's even more company now moving about. I think that is Ayanda there as well. So a few of the players that we've seen might be ending their run relatively quickly here.
Yeah, so unfortunate. But looking here, DK, I mean, do you see Sahil taking first place?
If Sahil can maintain the same level of consistency as we've seen in the previous 3 matches, I would say there's probably a high chance for that to be the thing. But with it being solos, anything goes, right? We've seen in several instances players getting slightly distracted in one direction and then getting psyched out from the other. So you're always going to have to try and keep your wits about you. But with that zone, especially going down onto the military island, it is going to be increasingly more challenging to have a successful setup, especially with those bridges and the waterways then coming into play. Ooh, a little bit of an overcook coming through here from Mafia. Fortunately, Chef Ramsey is not here, so we'll let that one slide. But you got to be careful because, if you hold on to that nade too long, it becomes overly friendly. So much so that it sends you right back into the lobby. So you got to be very careful with how you work your way through this. Mafia, though, has been having a pretty decent day so far, as we've seen Mafia being able to secure 5 eliminations and sitting with 22 points overall. MSP, the victor of the previous match, now having a high expectation coming through here for them, already in quite a congested position. We can see Leopard holding there alongside them, and we've seen what Leopard could do on Erangel. Yeah. So MSP has to be very careful with how they move through the compounds here.
Definitely. I mean, it's going to be quite a challenge. We saw Leopard utilize, the surroundings, buildings, and just take advantage of Kim, which Kim doesn't come back to contest, same position. Leopard, however, does have a new guest, and that's MSP, so we'll see exactly what that looks like. But it's always a patient game here with Leopard. He doesn't push in aggressively, but there is a 3-way battle in the drop spot. Newbie also joins the positioning of fighting right now, and it does look like on equal level they find each other. Newbie does know Leopard's in the other building, and so does Leopard know that Newbie's there because they did get to see that MSP takes vehicle and disengages completely from that over there. Gladiator taken out by Rutgut, and we're down to 43 players. 5 players
Mm.
have been sent back to the lobby already here in the final game right now. But for the likes of Leopard, it's all about patient game, waiting for the perfect opportunity coming. Rutgut picking up his second elimination out over there, which is quite fantastic. We got Deadshot right over here on the other end to the pan. It doesn't connect the shot.
Yeah, I mean that could have been a headshot or a dead shot. Could have been either, right? But yeah, all we were
Annex taken
left with
out.
was with nothing. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear, Nanex, but let's see whether or not the rest of the lobby can keep the momentum going. One thing that I wanted to say about Leopard while they were crawling around, that is a beautiful example and a good showing of what a leopard crawl should look like, right? But
Yeah.
now and see who else is going to look to maybe crawl up on the leopard. Is it going to be maybe Newbie from what we saw earlier? What is going to happen up in center zone? Not a lot of rotations really coming through just yet. We do see Void now looking to avoid that quick trip back into the lobby. As you can see, there's a lot of loot right up here in Pachinki. But now Void up on the edge. It is going to be Critical Troll just up ahead of them. So not a lot of opposition currently held in the town. And I think a fortunate point here for Void is, of course, the fact that Troll is quite low on health themselves. So if they are quick enough, they can get a hold here of Critical while their hands are still in that box. And that could be a golden ticket to help build quite a bit of momentum to get you into that later stages of the game.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that kill feed. MSP has also been taken out the winner chicken dinner for the previous game, and he was working his way on that left leaderboard to potential top 4, but now that has gone out of the window and unfortunately will not be happening. And Supreme was responsible for that elimination, so Supreme doing much better than he did game number 1, because we did see him get taken out within the first 5 eliminations, but now surviving up until 37, as well as picking up eliminations already. If he can do what he did game 2, pick up, another 6, 7 eliminations with a winner chicken dinner, then he could find himself in that top 4 prize pool share, as a couple of players already on the left leaderboard have been eliminated, like the hands of Nanex, like the hands of MSP, who are now sent back to the lobby. It gives so much breathing room to Supreme to work his way up without worrying what the other opposition players are going to be doing in terms of points. Are they getting eliminations? Are they doing a lot? So you can see Supreme comfortably sit with that 1 elimination at hand, and where 3 Sky is quite close to him as well, but in the distance over there. So I don't think any action will transpire between these 2 players. Although if the 3 Sky makes himself aware, then Supreme could take advantage of that. And Supreme taking a bit of damage over there. Good shots coming out from 3 Sky. And you got the scope out on Supreme, but he's taking 2 damages, one from the zone, one from the opponent. So needs to be careful on how he treats this one over here. Managing to heal, and he's going to look through the window. Will that give him an opportunity to see where 3 Sky is located? The scope on his weapon doesn't give him an advantage, though.
Yeah, it's a really tough angle to play through, especially at that range. And as you've mentioned, the blue ticking away at your health. But now it's going to be Sky just looking to get themselves outside. You got to find a vehicle, though. Oh, there we go. Speak of one, there is a bicycle. So, well, at least Sky is going to be doing some recycling, as they will need to get themselves all the way back into the safe area. That is going to be a very lengthy play. Their legs are going to hurt when they get on the opposite end. But you can see Leopard and so many other players also just setting up a bit of a gatekeep here. We got Void still holding up into Pachinki. We got Spirit Bull also making their play, moving ahead of that blue zone closure. But now it is going to be Leopard going for a little bit of a horse ride. Yep, there we go. The buggy is much, much faster than what the horse can bring on in. But the difference is the horse can jump. The buggy can't. Well, I mean, unless you hit a rock. right? If you hit a rock just right, you can probably hop higher than the horse can. So, yeah, I
Mm.
guess it's all down to tactics, right? And how you can get that all displayed. Speaking about displaying, we are going to be looking here at Turn Fever at Tokyo. And of course, there's a 007 holding on the edge as well. So nice to see a little bit of contention building up into that multi positioning here. But is Turn Fever going to be able to make it up into the lobby? I think the answer could be quite yes, because Tokyo is just waiting for Fever to get themselves in even more of a vulnerable position. But I think for Tokyo, this is where it gets a little bit risky, because once Tokyo takes those shots, it could maybe upset the whole situation here for Tokyo, as Venom is going to be moving up. Yeah, okay, so I get it now. Turn Fever was just feeling a bit hot. That's why they went into the drink, looking to dodge the
Mm.
sprays coming through there from Demon. But Demon now has their eyes on them. Tokyo has a golden opportunity, but is choosing to not take the engagement just yet. There we
Oof.
go. Demon gets the hit in, and that is Fever down. Ayanda and a few others are going to opt for a little bit of a swim across the way. It is going to be a risky play, especially if there are some receivers on the opposite coastline. But that's the difficulty with the military island, right? How on earth are you going to get yourself in there? Demon not going to try and make themselves too vulnerable. Instead, goes for a little bit of a swim. But it is Tokyo to come in with a quick, easy drift into those hits. Now, Tokyo has to grab the boat and get across the waterway.
Well, Tokyo played that one quite well. Ruck got in the distance over there. We did see him already pick up 2 eliminations in the beginning of the kill feed, but I think maybe more eliminations to his name has already been awarded. Pitbull barely healing in time as his HP ticks away here in the blue zone. Three Sky trying to get distance over there, but there is damage taken as well from Supreme onto Spitbull, and he's going to be healing once more again. And utilities are quite low over here, and he's not getting too much heals in the back pocket over there. Three Sky, same thing for him. He could potentially be taken out any moment now with only 3 more bandages left in the back pocket. Or he did manage to get more from that loadout right next to him.
Yeah.
But the distance to the safe zone is quite dangerous here, DK. I don't see how they could potentially make it into the safe zone with the utilities that they do have.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing the player number drop considerably as soon
Mm.
as this next this next zone pops. And that's exactly what happens. Phase 3 comes through. We've got 28 players alive for now. A lot of them trying to swim not only through the blue zone, but also through the drink. So it is going to be a pretty tough play. And especially with the position that we have here from Kota up on the bridge, it could be quite a bit of an interesting angle to try and utilize. But Rut is going to try and get their gut in line as the sprays come through. Effortless job being done right there. Almost used almost no ammo, right? Only 10 rounds pretty much getting sent out, and that was the end of the road. We do see Corvex also just on the side. Mafia starting to fall. That is already 4 players down. One of them, we know, fell down because of lead poisoning. But now it is going to be crazy getting hit as Soulman starts to double down. Ooh, for the babies goes down as well. Void getting an elimination in. But can Corvex maybe get something done over on the edge? It does seem like Rut has been able to sneak past them. So this will be Corvex now just all on their own up towards the northern side of zone.
Literally, it looks like that is going to be the position. No one really there to take in any fights. Zetsu on height right now, good position for himself. Mag in the distance over there, but I don't think he's got a decent scope. Supreme gets taken out, and unfortunately, his fight for top 4 contention is going to come to an end. And that was because he chose to play in that danger zone, and his HP was ticking away ever so slightly. And I think we're going to see 2 more players hit the dust, and that's going to be Three Sky, and there was another one in the distance. I forgot his name right now. But there's Rutgut, who was picking up 3 eliminations till now. Unfortunately, he gets eliminated and sent back to the lobby, which is very unfortunate. Kovacs, who was all alone there at the north, is now rotating with the vehicle into the safe zone. We got Shao still alive. We got the likes of Soulman, who's in second place right now as things stand. Shady
Ooh.
gets taken out. Leopard doesn't waste any time over there. Youngblood in the distance, potentially coming in for a third party. But will Leopard allow this? He's already crouched down in. And a grenade throw could potentially take in on harm's way, but the grenade doesn't match over there. Leopard has height advantage and can easily go on to Youngblood's positioning right now. But it does look like Youngblood pushed into a position that Leopard can't really see, but shots fired, and that then reveals Youngblood's positioning right now, and Leopard has the advantage in terms of natural height, but wary of getting eliminated. Leopard does not want. So passive plays, just like we've seen in the past, where it's about patience, guaranteed shots, and it does connect over there. Hasn't taken any damage. Youngblood also getting pressured and slightly due to the zone, but that's going to allow Leopard to then take advantage of that and pick up those eliminations right over there. Absolutely beautiful.
Well, yep, that was quite amazing to see all those plays now unfolding. Soulman, though, is going to patiently await something to come through on the edge of zone. But you can see Soulman being one of only a few players currently within the zone itself. We do see Shroud and Devil on that southern side, so this is going to be the next level of excitement. We do see Zarana there in the distance as well. Oh, the hovercraft pulling up right alongside them. Shroud has no other option other than getting out of the vehicle and claiming that elimination for themselves. So valiant effort there by Zarana, looking to at least bring a little bit of something onto the front there against Shroud. Shroud now just dipping back into the hovercraft. So Corvex, good luck. I hope you have enough ammo to make that hovercraft go up in flames. But if you do, that is going to be one elimination secured. We see Void also just up here on that military base itself. So Pitbull made it all the way back into safety. And now it is going to be the final 12 prepping for that showdown. Pitbull moving up, Meggy moving up, Void looking to avoid getting noticed, at least for the time being.
Yeah, literally for the time being right now. 12 players remain. Kovac somehow still alive. Maggie finding rotation, still alive as well. And I mean, the retail space here is quite open for all players as things stand. Spitball, hasn't been in a good position for the longest time. Zero eliminations at hand. Does notice Void is in the distance over there, but can he do much with that knowledge at hand? Is going to just use a couple bandies over here to heal up and put himself in a more healthier position. We've got 1 minute 28 seconds on that over there. We got Kim Last Blow. We did see Last Blow do a third rat finish in game number 1. We could potentially do the same here in game number 4. And to the lone warriors out there in the PUBG mobile community, I'm sure you guys are rooting for Last Blow because of the format or strategy it does display when it comes down to the game right now. Void sitting comfortably right now on his situation over there. And I don't see Sahil still alive. I did not see the kill feed, or did you announce that he passed away in the game?
Yeah, you gotta specify with a lot of detail here. It's like Sahil didn't make it into the zone. I don't really know where Sahil is right now, right? For the life of me, I can't really recall. All right, so Sahil, we have received confirmation in-game. Sahil is no longer in the match, right?
Yes.
Yes. Other than that, Sahil is perfectly fine. I believe so, right? We have faith in you, Sahil. You can do it. But not in this game, because it is done for now, right? So Sahil tried everything they could. It is going to be Corvex slowly getting run over here. I mean, Last Blow, not necessarily getting too aggressive here, but the blue does get the final blow in Last Blow as they run out of health. Now, it's going to be Zetsu on the edge here as well. There we have the list of all our remaining players. You can see Megi, Zetsu, Soulman, Pitbull. We've got Leopard, Shroud, Void, and Devil. So everybody, all 8 of them, gonna look to now have this whole situation settled. Right. Only one of them can walk away with that winner chicken dinner. Do we have anybody that has close to 6 eliminations? Because if they do, based on what we've seen so far, there's a high probability chance that they could be the one to maybe get the chicken. So Leopard, I
Leopard
mean, yeah,
closest.
it might be.
Might be. But in all honesty, I think like Solman's butt clinching this moment right over here. I mean, he's sitting in second place as it stands. Sahil's out of this one. Just a winner chicken dinner gets him 10 points right over there. And it could be more than enough to surpass Sahil. He does have one elimination at hand. To get the winner chicken dinner, we would need another elimination. So you could finish this off with a 12-point win. And the gap between him and Sahil was only 8 points. So this could be enough for him to sort of come through with a clutch moment, because the difference between first and second in terms of prize pool, guys, first gets 10,000 Rand, second gets 5,000 Rand. That's a whole other 5,000 Rand awarded to you in this final moment, with Shroud dangling on literally a hairline of HP. If he gets blown at, tickled at, he's going to get himself eliminated. Leopard not taking advantage of that. Shroud managing to heal quite significantly, quite well. Void has been in the same position forever. So has Pitbull and Maggie as well. They've been in the same position over there. Setsu in a position of reloading, looking at distance. Shroud over there. We've got Devil still alive quite well for all of these players. But 1 minute, 17 seconds on the clock over here, guys. And the stage will be shrinking ever so more. And I did say that the last game is going to see guns blazing, right? You know, everyone sacrificing their final moments over here, because you know what, I haven't done too well here in the campus championship. Let me try go out with a bang, and we've seen it. I mean, Rutgut already picking up 3 eliminations so early on. He was taken out at some point as well. So with 8 players in stage 5 of the zone, it's quite low to see Leopard over here in a big fight up against the Devil, who's going to be one to walk away, who's going to be one to be sent back to the lobby. Both players taking that breather of healing right now. Devil still, however, at a health disadvantage, and it does look like he does have himself healing, but Leopard goes in. Good grenade throw! That connected perfectly, picking up his 4th elimination over there, but Soman also picked up his 2nd elimination, which is now bringing him closer to closing that gap. Shouting distance over there, careful for Leopard, as he might be the one to take the ruling of 6 kills and a winner chicken dinner.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a very important situation here now for both Shroud and Solman, because those are realistically the 2 players that have the highest chance to reclaim the top position, right? To go for that winner chicken dinner. Leopard, if Leopard gets the winner chicken dinner, that's just going to be bragging rights currently, because looking at the point situation that we have here, I'm not quite sure where Leopard is situated with regards to that top 22 that we had coming through here, right? So there is at least still a level of expectation here. And of course, you know, we look forward to seeing who will be the one to close it out. Shroud, though, is going to get shot, as it is going to be Soulman to end the run right here for them. We are down to our final 4. So we can see Soulman and Leopard holding on this at least southern side of the zone. The other 2 players are, of course, situated up in towards the north. And as we know, only one will be allowed to move forward. Maggie also, I would say, Maggie rather, having a pretty decent opportunity to maybe get something happening here. Maggie coming into this match with 14 points up. So if Maggie wants to get into that prize-winning positions, there will definitely have to be a winner chicken dinner to come through. Void also going to be trying everything they can to lock it in, but again, Void in a rather difficult position, right? They can play for the bragging rights of getting the final victory in this match here today, but is it going to be enough to ensure a slot within the top 4, right? It is down to the wire. 2 players have a really good chance to do it, or rather 1 player now. That is going to be Solman, and the rest of the players actually have quite a bit of control as to what the outcome of this match will be.
Literally, I mean, like right now, for Sahil, if he's spectating the stream right now, he's literally hoping that it's a Void, it's Maggie, it's, you know, Leopard taking the winner chicken dinner here, because I think, you know, someone has secured enough points in the back pocket over there. If Void looks to his left, he could pick up himself an elimination and finish in the top three position. But he's just been focused on that bunker for the longest time, and nothing has transpired from that bunker whatsoever. But to his left is Meggy in the open, and he
Yeah.
hasn't looked in that position at all. Two eliminations to his name, and right now things is pretty much on a stand still as we were waiting for the zone to shrink or the stage to shrink, and we'll see what that will be looking like. Soman, Leopard, Void, Maggie, and we'll see what this will look like for the final positioning. But I'm hoping, Soman has been consistent throughout. He showcased some good play styles, and I think, finding himself here in a fighting position for winning is going to be absolutely beautiful. But here's the opportunity for Void to take some damage onto Maggie, and it does come through, but he needs to not get into that safe zone and need to be careful of his surroundings because those shots definitely do open your location on the opposition. But top three players now remain, and I think for Soman, his blood pressure has to be off the roof right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's gonna be that's a crazy spot to be in. I'm surprised to see the device not shaking more, right? So yeah, Solomon feeling all the pressure now mounting against them here. But I think a safe assumption to make here is that Void should definitely look to become principal because I mean, how Void was just focused on those bunkers, making sure that there are no bunkers anywhere,
Mm,
right?
mm.
I appreciate the discipline and the focus. Fortunately, we did see Void also get that hit up into Meggy. But it's going to be the final showdown pretty soon as the zone moves more and more now in favor of Solman. We can see Leopard approaching. Maybe going to opt for a little bit of a crawl here to get themselves into zone. Maybe not just yet, but there is sufficient ammo in the bag here for Leopard as well to still finish up this match. Not necessarily going to be looking to expend too much unnecessary ammos here. But hey, they've got a little hidey hole. Now they're going to try and see, can they leverage this to secure the victory? Because as we know, Solman is just hoping to spot a pixel out of place so that they can focus up, get the sprays, and get that one little step closer to having a phenomenal finish coming in here in match number 4.
Yeah, I think Soman just needs to focus on Leopard's positioning. And a 1v1 situation, I don't know what that would look like with Soman up against Leopard, but with Soman up against Void, and I think he might have an advantage over there. This is the first time we've seen Void in a top 5 finish. And, Leopard, we've seen him do weird things. His movement is weird. His patience outgrows the opponent a lot of the times. He finds himself winning in positions that didn't look advantaged to him. Now, Soman on the other side of things, 3 eliminations, Leopard 4 eliminations, Void only 2. So I think a 1v1 situation between Soman and Void would be more favorable for a winner-winner chicken dinner, but it all comes down to RNG. Where's the zone going to be positioned? Are we going to see someone needing to go to Leopard or Leopard going to someone? I think Leopard going to someone is someone just outside that safe zone. It looks like it, but he's just hugging that white line. Void also needing to rotate more inwards. And man, we are seeing open field being where the retail space is going to be located. 30 seconds for these players to make that decision. And right now, already someone going for an early rotation. Leopard also going to be joining in anytime soon. We got Void who's going to be going in at distance. Here's someone placing his vehicle for cover, but he's also been locked only onto Void over here, which could be at a disadvantage for him because third party could potentially come in. You need to look at your back as well, Solman. There is more players besides Void in your field of view. And let's see what Void can do. At least he's got some cover in it. If he doesn't move out of space, he'll be quite comfortable with his position. On the other side of things, Leopard is praying to maybe get into a third party position and take out someone. We'll have to wait and see what this looks like.
Yeah, for Solman, this is you don't want to be there, Solman. Move, because
Yeah,
I mean, Void could get like this big grin on their face and just start putting one steady, slow hit into that vehicle, right? It's like
literally.
it's like a naughty kid who said to, don't touch that, and their hand comes closer and closer and closer, because if enough damage comes into that vehicle, which it is really close to, it's going to go up in flames, and that means Solman also goes up in flames, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, you don't want to be there. Now, Void, of course, has been granted the opportunity to get their health back up, but Solman is still committed to staying one with this vehicle. And the scary part here is when Solman gets up and fires, we did see one or two of those shots going into the vehicle as opposed to connecting across the way. So Solman needs to be careful as they get spotted, and that is it. They get, well, their opportunity gets voided as they now are out of the lobby. It is going to be Leopard and Void for the final showdown. We do have the P90 coming in, but hey, it's not going to matter. As you can see, the M4 and the Leopard crawling their way to victory. 5 eliminations up and a chicken to boot. Absolutely amazing showing. But now comes the big question, right? Has Solman been able to do enough to catch up to Sahil with regards to the overall points? Because if you look there on the screen, we didn't see Sahil's name within the top 15 players. So that is quite stressful now, and we have to see how all those points get calculated.
I mean, 7 points for a third place finish plus 3 eliminations. That's 10. We don't know how much kills Sahil picked up. We don't know where he finished. If it was in that 15th position or top 15, then he picked himself 5 points on the leaderboard, and that means he wins this by 2 points overall. And even if he did win this or come in within 16 to 25th, he wins this by 1 point or tied. The maths is not mathing, but right now I don't feel confident for Solman win a chicken dinner. I don't see that coming through. And great shots from Void from distance right over there. 2 shots to the body right over there, and Solman found himself getting eliminated. But it was Leopard who comes through with a winner chicken dinner. We didn't see any double wins coming out for any of these players right over here, guys. And that just shows the level of talent and RNG that we did get to witness in today's event. And I mean, weeks on weeks, these players were competing at 5 universities, 3 cities, and we finally have come to that moment where we will be determining who is walking away with the title of the PUBG Mobile Campus Championship in South Africa, but also with the share of 20,000 Rand prize pool. First place being 10,000, second place being 5,000, third being 3,000, and fourth being 2,000 Rand. Between first and fourth, it's almost it's not too sure, but first and second, it was a big title race between Solman and Sahil, with an 8-point gap between Sahil and Solman going into this final fight over here. And Solman needed that winner chicken dinner to guarantee to put it in his name right now in black ink as the victor of this championship series. But with coming in third place, a lot of questions start to raise up, and a lot of maths is needed in order to see exactly what that is going to be looking like. But you know what? The leaderboard in the background is being calculated. The players are being, allocated to the right spots over there. But I think this tournament went quite flawless, and it was quite nice. I like the tournament where by the third game we don't have to now know who already won, and that was the case for this tournament over here. There wasn't a set guarantee going into the final game that hey, Sahil is walking out with all guns blazing, and he's 20 points, 30 points ahead of everyone else. We've seen PUBG games where there's just that player who consistently drops 8-10 kills in these formats, but 6 was the max every player could pick up for some reason, and that's what we got to witness here, DK.
Yeah, Leopard definitely breaking the mold there, saying, you know what, I don't want 6, I'll settle for 5. So thank you so much for that one, Leopard. You just had to be unique, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much. It was very exciting to see it. But yeah, I gotta say, quite an interesting day that we've had. I mean, solos, it's also usually a lot more challenging, especially that you can't play the same tactics you would be playing if you were in a squad, because as we know, there's no res opportunity. If you get hit, that's it, right? You're done. You're out of here. And you'll have to wait for the next potential map to come on through before you can play again. But yeah, I have to agree with what you were saying with there being that level of uncertainty as to who's going to be the one to take it overall, right? Because there were so many contentious performers stepping up, keeping the pressure on, trying to play as much of an upset as they possibly could. But of course, there's a reason that we don't do math, right? Because caster math is dangerous. And so we have professionals that have calculators that do it, right? They've been trained. They know that there's an on button, and then you press the numbers and you press the plus and you see where it gets you, and then you have answers, right? Literally. I mean, it sounds simple, but you know, it turns out it's a lot more complicated than just that, right? Because you need to make sure that the battery is charged, and there's so many things that go into math. And yeah, we don't have the brain power for that. We've been focusing on all the action happening on the battlefield. But I gotta say though, I mean, a big shout out going out to Carry First and everyone involved with making this event happen. Of course, you can see there's a lovely QR code just here in the corner over there. We'd also appreciate your feedback, so scan that. There's one in the description as well, and then you can provide us with a little bit of feedback regarding the event itself. So if you enjoyed all the action, which I'm sure you did, just tell them, you know, oh, it was amazing, right? Arrow with those white headphones, it looked so great. I want some of my own. Where can I get it? And then we'll just say, well, I don't even think Arrow knows where he got it. He's had it for so long. It was there when he came in. But you know what's coming in as well? The points, the leaderboard. Let's take a look and see who are we crowning. And the answer is Solomon coming through with a glorious 2-point lead ahead of Sahil, closing the gap, catching up. Hey, and then we've got Christopher jumping all the way from 9th place up into 3rd. Welcome to the party, Christopher. And of course, we have Mag still holding on to dear life, managing to close it up in 4th place. Shroud, 1 point away.
1 point away to your prize pool money, to, you know, hawking, bragging rights, all of those things, but still finishing 5th on an overall finish over here is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's insane. I love the gameplay, and of course, as we can see, some pretty good points being brought onto the board as well. I love the solo showdowns. I mean, it's always so exciting to see all these upsets. We saw players from the same squad going toe to toe, right? We saw a little bit of that up in Sanok with the C9 bumping heads there. It was Nanex and another player, I can't remember the exact name, but we saw so many exciting clashes coming in all across the way. But, you know, as all things, this too has now got to be wrapped up because Christmas is coming, apparently.
Apparently. Well, we want to say thank you to everyone that was involved for making this a huge success, but also thank you to all the players that attended the 5 universities, the 3 cities, and participated in the online qualifiers, the LAN qualifiers, and then coming through to the grand finals and then giving your all might and making a show for the casters and the viewers that came through over there. And then also thanks to the participants on the stream that kept the chat rolling, that kept the entertainment rolling as well. And to the production team as well, giving us a great show of eliminations as well as great final moments over there. It was an intense couple of weeks, but we are now in that final moment where we get to say goodbye to you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, DK, hope you stay good, and I can't wait to be alongside you in the future.